this is Gina. Today I'm going to show you how to make this little ring that I'm calling crystal peaks. This is because the crystals kind of peek up. So let me show you close up what this ring looks like. Now if you used bolder colors in here you would see it quite a bit more, but I think it turns out really pretty even with these little pastel blue colors. It's very pretty. Let me take it off, back out, and take it off and let you see what it looks like. And this is what it looks like. We've done a right angle weave with 11 O's between the weave of 8 O's for the band, and that's what that looks like. I really think that's quite pretty. Let's go ahead and look and see what we need to make this project, and we'll get started. For this project today, you will need 11 O, 8 O, and 15 O seed beads. These are all Toho. My 11O and 15O are the galvanized aluminum permanent finish. My 8O is the nickel plate. Then I will be using two 6mm bicone crystals in the sapphire color and one 4mm crystal also in the same color. Then you will need 4mm crystals in another color. And then I will be using Nanofil 10 pound. You can also use 8 pound Nanofil. You can also use 6 or 8 pound Fireline. I'm going to be using a size 10 beading needle. You can also use a size 12. 12 usually works better with 15O seed beads. Put onto your needle about a wingspan of thread and we'll get started. Okay, to start this project, we will pick up two of our 4mm bicone crystals that we have a pile of instead of just the one. Pick up two of those, and then an 8O seed bead, and then two bicone crystals, and an 8O seed bead. This is what you should have on your needle. And then you're going to take these beads to the end of your thread and start sewing back up through them. So I'm just going to go through, you don't have to leave a long tail, just a few inches also. And then I'm just going to go back up through two crystals. And I'm going to hold on to the crystals, the tail, and pull my working thread through. Pull it into this little rectangular shape here. And then sew back through until you get back to your tail thread. So I'm coming out of the crystals. I'm going to go into this 8O and then into the two bicone crystals, and then into the 8O. And now I'm back where my thread and my tail meet. And I'm just going to give a little tug on the tail, a little tug on the working thread, and then I'm just going to tie a knot right here to keep my beads from slipping as I work through them. So just a little overhand knot. Slide it down between that crystal and 8O seed bead right there. And then we're going to sew back through. So go through the crystals. This first unit I want strong, so I could start my next step right there, but I want to start it here between these two crystals. So I've just sewn around, come out of the 8O, I'm going into this crystal here. It just makes everything a little bit sturdier. Then I'm going to pick up a 15O seed bead, and I'm going to go into the next crystal. So I'm coming out of this crystal, I'm going to go into this crystal here. I'm going to hold on to my piece and pull my thread until that 15O pops down between the two 4mm bicone crystals, like so. Then I'm going to go into this 8O seed bead, pull my thread through, give a nice little tug, and up through one crystal on this side of the unit. Make sure your thread is secure, tight, good tension. Pick up a 15O seed bead and go into the next bicone crystal. And you can also go into the 8O if you'd like. And here we are going to put an embellishment on top of these crystals. So pick up two 15-0 seed beads, and then pick up a bicone crystal in your 6mm size, and then pick up two 15-0 seed beads. You're coming out of this 8-0 seed bead. We're going to go into the 8-0 seed bead directly opposite of it on the same side we're coming out of this one. So we're going to go into this side of this 8-0 seed bead. I'm just going to turn my piece so I can handle it a little better, and then I'm going to go into this 8-0 seed bead here, just like so. I'm going to guide this crystal in these 15-0s on top of my unit. Give it a little tug so that the crystal lays on top of the other crystals. Then pick up two 15-0 seed beads, and then you're going to come up through the crystal again. So you're coming out on this side of the 8-0 now. We're going to go into the crystal, and pull that through. Give it a nice tug so that you know that everything is tight and that your embellishment will sit nicely on top without any movement. Then pick up two 15-0 seed beads, which are not cooperating with me. There we go. And go through the side of the 8-0 that you do not have a connection already with. So I started on this side, so I'm going to go through this side and connect my crystal. Give it a nice tug. Make sure your tension is really tight. And then you're going to pick up an 11-0, an 8-0, an 11-0, an 8-0, an 11-0, an 8-0, and an 11-0. I will show you. So you have four 11-0s on all sides of the 8-0. So 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, 8-0, and 11-0, like so. You're coming out of this side of this 8-0 on your unit, go into the opposite side of it, and pull these beads down into a circle, like so. Let me move these 11-0s back out of my way here. And I'm going to sew back through this circle to secure it. So I'm just going to turn it over so I can get to it better. And I'm going to start sewing through. I'm going to go through the 11-0, 8-0, and 11-0 and pull. This will kind of help with the shape that I want. So go through these three, then go through just the 8-0, then go through these three, like so, and then through the 8-0. Now we need to move back over to this 8-0 seed bead, so we will sew up through these three again, here, and back through the 8-0 seed bead. This is what you should have. Now we're going to make another unit just like this one. So we are going to pick up two 4mm bicone crystals, almost forgot what I was doing there, and an 8-0, and two 4mm bicone crystals, and I'm using the clear color again, of course, like so. Then you're going to go to the opposite side of the 8-0 and go through it. Now we're going to sew back through this entire thing, and then we'll put our 15-0s between the bicone crystals. And you can try to do it at this step, but it really doesn't work well. You don't get the shape that we're after here. So go ahead and sew through the entire unit first. Now I'm back to my 8-0 here. I will make sure that this unit is nice and secure by giving a tug on my thread. and then go up in between the two crystals. So I'm coming out of the 8-0, I'm going into just one crystal. Pick up a 15-0 seed bead, and then go into the crystal behind it. Go into your 8-0 seed bead, and then go up into the first crystal behind the 8-0. Pick up a 15-0 seed bead, go into the crystal behind it. You can also go into the 8-0 if you'd like. Give a nice little tug, make sure that everything is tight, laying nice. You need good tension on this or it's just going to be sloppy. Now pick up two 15-0 seed beads and your other 6mm bicone and two 15-0 seed beads, like so. We're coming out of this side of this 8-0 seed bead. We're going to find the opposite 8-0 and go into the same side that we're coming out of on this one, right like this. Hold on to your beads as you pull your crystal up, and then situate your crystal on top of your unit. Pick up two 15-0 seed beads and go back into the crystal. Make sure you have decent tension on here, because if you do not, your crystal will move around on your finished ring and you don't want it to. So pull tightly as you pull through your 15-0s, and then pick up two more 15-0s and go into the 8-0 here. Let's get just a little bit closer so you can see really well. I'm going to go into this 8-0 here with my two 15-0s. Give a nice little tug. And then, just to secure this, I'm going to sew from this 8-0 over to this 8-0 here. So I'm coming out of this 8-0 here. I'm going to go into these three 11-0 seed beads in the middle here, or 11-0, 8-0, 11-0. See if I can get through them. Like so. Give a nice tug. This is what's going to secure that last crystal, and then go up through the 8-0 here. So through these three beads and into the connecting 8-0. And now we're going to do our middle embellishment. So pick up two of your bicone crystals in their clear color or whatever color you're using. Coming out of this 8-0 on this side, we're going to go into this connecting 8-0 way over here and go into the same side, like so. And we're going to pull these crystals down, hold on to your piece, and pull these down, give a nice little tug. Now, as I say tug, I mean tug straight through. Don't pull on the edge of your crystals or you're going to break your thread. That's just the way it works, especially with Swarovski. They're very finely cut and they will break your thread. So now we're going to pick up two more bicone crystals. We're coming out of this 8-0 here. We're going to go back into the 8-0 seed beads here, right there, the one we started in for this embellishment. And pull. Now aim these up. Don't let them fall underneath your unit. Just pull them up on top of the unit, like so. Now we have to secure this last embellishment, so we're going to sew back through these crystals, and we're going to pop in a 15-0 seed bead, and then we'll go through the 8-0 and do the same thing on the other side. So we're coming out of this 8-0 right here. We're going to go up through these two 15-0s. Now as we come up through, we have to tighten the thread because these are going to loosen. So just tighten your thread and then pick up a 15-0, like so. Go into the next crystal, and pull, and see, be careful, I just pulled mine all out of whack, and then go into this 8-0, and this will tighten it up. So right between the unit and the embellishment we're putting on, go into that connecting crystal, or 8/0, excuse me, and tighten your crystals, like so. And then go up into the crystals on this side. So go up into this one crystal right here, pull your thread through, pick up a 15/0 seed bead, go into this crystal. And then go into the 8/0 seed bead again, right here. And give a nice tug. And this is what you should have so far. It's starting to dome over my fingers, see? And that's what we want, because we want this to be the top of our ring, so we want a nice curve to fit around our fingers. Now, we're going to use our 4mm bicone crystal in the sapphire color and put it between these. So we're going to pick up two 15/0 seed beads. Oh wait, let me see if I use two or one. Yeah, two. Nope, one. Yeah, just pick up one 15/0 seed bead, and then pick up your 4mm bicone crystal, and then one 15/0 seed bead. We're coming out of this crystal, or excuse me, this 8/0 seed bead in the middle of the crystals. Now, you're going to want to go into the same side of the 8/0 on the other side of the crystals. It's kind of hard to see. I dropped my 15/0. But you can do it. Just go into that 8/0 again. If you just kind of aim underneath your crystals, you should be able to get it there. And then as you pull this through, you're going to lift it up over the top and place it in between those four crystals there, like so. Just takes a little manipulation, but you can do it. And then pick up a 15/0 seed bead and go through the center crystal, pull it through, make sure you get it popped down in there really nice on the edge of the crystal here. Pick up another 15/0 and then go back through the 8/0 that we're anchoring to on this side. And like I said, just aim down underneath the crystals and go through your bead. Make sure that this comes up above and pull it down into place, like so. And this is the top of your ring. Oops. Like so. So now I'm going to turn my piece over. I'm going to cut down my tail. I'm not going to burn it down yet because I don't want it to get inside any of my beads yet. I will later. I'm coming out of this 8/0 seed bead right here. I'm going to go into this crystal here. It's easier if you sew through the back so you can see what you're doing. I'm going through the crystal. I'm going to ignore that 15/0 and go through the crystal again. And that thread should just go right behind that 15/0. So you can not see it, see? Let me make sure I'm in camera here. So I've come from this 8/0 seed bead up into these crystals, and then I'm going to go into this 8/0 right here, like so. We back off a little so I stay in frame. And I'm just going to push that little tail aside. Now we are going to make units of right angle weave to connect to our band, not to connect to our band. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this, because, yeah, let's just go ahead and do this in 8/0s. So pick up 3 8/0 seed beads. We're not going to put the 11/0s between right now. We're just going to go through with 3 8/0 seed beads, like so. And we're just going to do right angle weave until we get the length we want to connect to the other side of our ring. So I'm going to go through each unit that I make of right angle weave, sew through and secure it. So I've come out of this bead, I'm going into this bead, and I'm just going to secure my right angle weave. And sewing through one bead at a time is the best way to do this so that you don't distort the shape of your units too much. It will a little bit later, we'll straighten that out anyway. And then come back through after you've sewn all the way around to secure it. Come back through until you get to your top bead, and then pick up 8 more 8-0 seed beads like so, and go through the opposite side of the bead you're coming out of. Bring down a new unit and sew back through it to secure it. And you're going to continue making units like this until you have the length that you want to wrap around your finger. So you can either measure it on a ring mandrel, or you can just lay this on your finger and then continue until you get just a little bit away, like 1 unit away from where you will need it to connect to this side. So just a little bit of space, and then we'll come back and connect it. I cannot tell you exactly how many units. I will show you how many I make for mine. My finger is like a size 8, so that I want to put this on. And I can show you how many units I make, but you will have to judge most of that for yourself, and because everybody's finger is a different size, of course. Like I said, you can use a ring mandrel or you can use your own finger. Continue making units of right angle weave and securing them until you have the length that you would like, and we'll be back in a moment. So as you can see, I have made my right angle weave to the point that I believe will fit around my finger. This is 10 units of right angle weave. Now I'm going to show you how I measured it, because our next step is going to shrink things down a little bit. So I put it on my finger, and I am right to where the 8-0s pretty much touch. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my unit that will connect to this side. Now the next step will shrink it down a little bit. So you may want to make sure that you're either touching that 8-0 seed bead or you're 1 unit over it if you're afraid it's going to shrink down to the point to where you have a hard time getting it over. Like if you have fat knuckles like I do, you might want to go ahead and make 1 more unit. And then we're going to go ahead and connect this. So I'm coming out of this 8-0 seed bead here. My thread is on this side. I've picked up an 8-0 seed bead onto my needle. It's dropped down on my thread, and I'm going to go into the same side of this 8-0 on the ring head, or the top of the ring, whatever you want to say. So from this side to this side, make sure that your thread is going in the path to where it'll draw it together without twisting the band you're creating. Now pick up another 8-0 seed bead and go back into the 8-0 on the band. Hold this all together and pull. And now you've created another unit of right angle weave. Sew back through it to secure it. Into the one on the ring. Back up into this side. Down into here. And then I'm going to go around 1 more time until I come out of this 8-0 seed bead right here. So we'll go ahead and go here. Make sure your unit is nice and tight, good tension. And then we'll start placing 11-0 seed beads between each unit to kind of draw everything together and make it prettier. So I've got an 11-0 seed bead in my galvanized aluminum, and I'm going to go between each bead like so. Pulling this together, so from this 8-0 to this 8-0. And I'm going to continue putting 11-0 seed beads all the way around till I get all the way to the last unit on this side of my ring. So just continue doing that, and once we get to the other end, we'll be back. So I've sewn all the way around, and now you can see how this is kind of drawing my band together here. Oops, I have 2 11 O's between this one. I'm going to break one out. So if you accidentally get two, sometimes I pick up two on my needle and I don't even notice it. If you need to break it out gently, be careful not to cut your thread while you do that. Now, I'm coming out of this very last 8-0 after putting in this 11-0. I'm going to go into the 8-0 here. And I'm going to start all over again. Come down into this 8-0 here. So I've just gone through the connecting 8-0 on the head of the ring, and now I'm going to start pulling my 11-0 seed beads through again. And this is drawing it in quite a bit, so you may want to do an extra unit of right angle weave, and we'll see how it fits my finger when we're done. I'm never quite sure how much of a draw in I'm going to get, and I'm just continuing the same thing I did on the other side, pulling an 11-0 seed bead between each one, and you can see the finished result. It's quite pretty. So continue doing that until we get to this other side. We'll be back and tie it off. So now I have finished my entire embellishment between the 8-0 seed beads. I'm coming out of this 8-0 seed bead here. I'm going to come up into the attaching 8-0 seed bead, and then right here on this thread bridge between this 8-0 and this 8-0 in my right angle weave unit, I'm going to go underneath the thread bridge with my needle, create a little loop, come back through it, and tie a knot, like so. Then I'm going to sew down. Now you can just go into the right angle weave units if you'd like, or you can go through the 11-0s. It doesn't matter, just keep things from falling apart and getting weird. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew through all the 11-0s and 8-0s on top here. And then, now that I'm right here, I can come back through this 8-0 here. So the original units are the 8-0s. The embellishment are the 11-0s. You can sew up through the 11-0s and 8-0s, and then once you exit one of the 8-0s, somewhere down the line, then go through an 8-0, and you're coming out of an 8-0 when you do that. That's the key. Then come up through another 8-0, and then just sew back over all the way to the top. Of course, you can tie off any way you'd like. This just seems to be what I want to do right now. I'm going to come back through all of the beads on the edge here until I come through my very last 8-0 seed bead, and then I'm going to grab my thread bridge between the 8-0s in my very first unit here. Let's see if I can do this. And create another knot, pulling it down between those 8-0 seed beads in this first unit of right angle weave. And then I'm going to sew back through this 8-0, and I'm going to slide back down these beads here again. Make sure that you don't miss any, or you'll make your band all funny. And I'm going to call that good. Maybe I'll go through a few more just to make sure they're nice and neat. And I'm going to cut off my thread, leaving a small tail or tag or whatever you want to call it. And then, just knocked over my crystals, yay. And then print it down. Now I have a thread zapper, and you can use a thread zapper if you'd like. I find that every time I use my thread zapper, next time I come back, the battery's dead. Now, I don't understand why that's working. If anyone has any clues, let me know. But I put a brand new battery in it, and then I walk away, and I go to use it next time, and it's dead again. So I don't know if anyone else has that issue, if it's just mine, but it's not cool. And yes, I'm using good batteries. So now, as you can see, that fits very well, so don't worry too much about the shrinkage, I guess. Just go to where the 8-0s are touching each other and put your last unit on, and you should do just fine with your length. And this is what this little finished ring looks like. I really think it's cute. If you made it with bolder colors, you could even do the clear bicones with something else, or if you put a red crystal in there, or something, it would really pop. Black and clear, anything would be really pretty. I just happen to have a lot of these blue, so I wanted to use them up, but I think that that's really quite pretty. Here's how it looks on the back, and that's what the front looks like. And I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.